Today we're in Bloomsbury at Language in London talking to teachers about first classes.
I mean, obviously the first thing I do is look at the register. What students have I got in the class, and if another teacher has taught them, I'm going to find out a little bit about the class first. If they're completely cold, so when I first started to teach in South Korea, for example, I didn't know anything about the students. I just got a generic speaking activity to get them up and talking, because that's what they want, I think, and you can learn a lot and you can plan the rest from there. I think once you've got that communication going, you know what you're going to do next.
I usually do something to prepare something to tell them something about me, even if it seems a little bit egotistical. I think it's quite important just to have that kind of first. They can ask you questions, you can tell them personal things about yourself. I think it does help, and they then seem to feel more willing to share their own personal experiences. We usually have a first day letter, so the students will all complete a first day letter, and I'll read that so that I know exactly where this person's coming from, why they're here, and what they want from the course.
I like to have a bit of chit chat with them, get to know them a little bit at the beginning of the lesson, get them to know each other, of course, try to get student to student connections happening instead of student to teacher. So a couple of things. Look at their learning aims as well, sort of their needs analysis, what they want to do, and then I try and sort of tailor that into the lesson plan.
You give information to the students on pieces of paper about yourself. Some of it's true, some of it's false, and often there'll be contradictions in the information that they receive. They have to then tell each other how much they know about their teacher. Then they sit down after a mingling activity, tell the partner how much they know, and then discuss which information they think is true and which information they think is false. I'll write some answers with my information on the board. The students will then give me the questions that could be for those answers, and then the students will interview each other with those questions, and we'll talk about what information was false or true and why they thought what they thought.
I've just done one. Because we're in London, I like to do something about living in London, and because we're in London, we go straight for the heart of London, and I have a go-to lesson about the London Underground. The students can't get enough of talking about the London Underground. Or also, when I've taught other classes not in London, maybe something about learning about me and me learning about them. So you're building a friendship, a relationship in the class, which is going to keep going.
Yes, got a couple of classics that I like to use sort of towards the end of the class, like back to the board. Seems to always work well. You don't really have to give complex instructions or anything like that.
Can you explain back to the board?
Yeah, so it's for reviewing vocabulary at the end of a lesson usually. And one student sits with their back to the board at the front of the class. The teacher or a student writes or circles the word on the board, and then everybody else in the class has to try and explain what the word is without saying the word. So they have to use synonyms and sort of, miming and acting, and it can get quite funny, they come up with funny stuff. So.
Don't rush into anything, just take the pace from the students.
Prepare and read about them, and sort of just try to get a feeling for what the students will be like, and then you'll just feel a lot more comfortable yourself when you walk in there, and you feel more confident.
They're people. Try and learn their names. Try and learn something about them. Use their names. Use the information that you've got about them. Listen to them, and make sure they talk.